take one.
Okay, guys. Team time, class 10 has changed a little bit. Morgan and Teresa really did the majority of this work. I just like talking, so helping Teresa out with this while Morgan's the junior counselors. It's really similar except the game is different. The message, the transformational leader bit is all the same. It's just the game that we're using to illustrate that has changed. It also will be inside now. It will be indoors in a classroom assigned to you on the teaching schedule. And there is a PowerPoint with this workshop now where there used to not be. It used to be just like the flip charts or using the handbook. And you could maybe do it outside under a tree. We're not going to do that anymore. It's a bit more structured like a class would be.
And we were hoping that by including this structure and updating the game, it kind of just drives that point of the team being more important than an individual person or that person's leadership position. So that's kind of what we're going to try to drive home. So yeah, you'll start off. We were trying to go through the best way to time out when one SC takes the 4 leaders that are already pre-identified. You know, you talk to your JCs as you always have. Make sure that you can pick out 2 that are going to be transformational leaders, 2 that are going to be transactional leaders, and then one SC is responsible for taking them out into the hallway and walking through their responsibilities. In the lesson plan on like the second page, I think, we've made a chart to kind of make it a little bit easier to follow as to who is responsible for what and what instructions you can give them. So open to feedback, but we hope that this kind of like levels that out. You can see like who will be doing what, and that first SC, we hope like right from the beginning so that it's you know, an easy transition, kind of like as things are getting started, you take them out of the room so it's not, you know, that obvious. You're explaining their position to them as like everyone's getting situated with the other SC in the room, and then if everything worked out in a perfect world, you'd be able to bring them back in and the class would get started. We understand sometimes they have a lot of questions, the 4 that are outside of the room, so take all the time you need. There is a buffer slide that we'll get to that the one SC in the room can walk out of the room and kind of give you that, okay, you need to bring them back in. So,
Is this the buffer slide?
no, that's actually, the next slide is the buffer slide. So so the buffer slide is this. This will kind of be the SC in the room's Q's a good one. To go outside to tell the other SC like, all right, we're ready to get started. At this time, you'll see like in the lesson plan there, the SC in the room should be breaking them off into the 2 different teams. There's the team A and B, and then when they come in, the 2, I guess like transformational or positive, good leaders will be with the 1, and then the 2 transactional negative ones will be with the leaders, like always. But this will just kind of give everyone a chance to recollect and everything. What we're still trying to work out is we're handing out an index card. And that index card, they're going to have the chance to write down 3 positive characteristics that they find in a leader. So, yes, what we're still trying to work out the logistics of, and what us walking through that today will help us figure out is, should that come before this part? Should that come after? Should the 4 kids we pull out of the room be included in that activity? Is it not that important if they're included in it, as long as they're included in the reflection afterwards? So we're looking for your feedback on that portion of it. But that is included in the lesson plan. You can see that part there. But yeah, just moving through. Then we'd go through to the game. Off, yeah, and then we go right into the instructions of it all. So the next slide would have the instructions. You know, you read off, it tells you right in the lesson plan what you should say, what you keep to yourself and to keep note of, but don't actually read out loud.
That's in red and bolded, so if it's in red or bold on the lesson plan, don't say it out loud to the delegates.
we thought that keeping the rules up while they're playing will actually help rather than, it's not giving anything away, it's not gonna lessen the game. It'll just keep structure where things otherwise got a little chaotic. They can reference this as they're kind of going through things. But Lou, do we want to go through the game now?
Okay. First of all, the good news is that you guys are not going to have to blow up any more balls from like 1998. And also, you're not going to have to worry about carrying boxes of equipment because basically we have 12 of these set up for you guys, which each contain golf balls and tees. So you'll be able to pick this up and it'll be able to be done in the room. Now, what I want to do is I want to go through the rules of the game and I want to tell you what each of the what the instructions would be to the team leaders, so you can get a sort of a rationale for why, and then I want to actually have you guys play the game, okay? Because the best way to be able to do it is to do it, okay? So first of all, as they said, and this is great having this here, I think during the game. First of all, what will happen is, and these are the general directions that you would give everybody in the class. Each team of workers will stand side by side and lock their arms together, okay? Just like that, all right? The person at each end of the line is going to get a golf ball and a tee, okay? So there'll be a golf ball and tee on one end of the line, or I'm not even going to use the word line, on one end, and a golf ball and a tee on the other end, okay? The ball has to be placed on the tee by one of the team leaders. The team workers are not allowed to touch the balls, okay? So the team leaders will do that. It's not as easy as it looks. At each end, all right? The task is to pass the golf balls from the ends toward the center, okay? And what happens is, all right, if a golf ball falls off the tee, then the tee and the golf ball have to go back to the person from which it started, okay? They score a point, because one of the things is it just a task when it ends, or do you score points, all right? The team scores a point when the two balls and tees cross each other, when they're like ships passing through the night. When they cross each other, that is a point, then they can go back and they can try for more if they have time, all right? And then how much time, that's really up to you guys, all right? If the ball falls, it's up to the team leader to pick up the ball and the tee to get it back, depending on how cooperative the team leader is, all right? The golf ball and tee must pass by / in front of team workers in the sequence that they're linked, okay? But not every team worker has to touch it. So for example, if there are 3 team workers, all right, let's say that I'm passing it here, there is nothing wrong with me passing it directly.
Well, there is something wrong with this, but
okay. There's nothing wrong with me passing it by Michaela directly to Teresa as long as it goes in front of Michaela, okay? So it doesn't have to touch every single member.
Should we explain that to them?
No. Don't you let them figure it out?
No, we let them figure it out.
Okay.
Okay? There's a couple other things that we let them figure out, okay? First of all, one thing that you do not tell them and you let them figure out is that there is no rule that the tees have to cross in the center of the line, all right? If one side is going faster than the other, then, a team that's truly working together and a team with transformational leadership, one side is helping out the other. So if the tees cross 2/3 of the way or 3/4 of the way, that's fine. Now the negative leader is not going to say that, okay? The negative leader is going to force them to cross through the middle and criticize the one half that's slow for not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Pick up the slack, do your job. A couple other things, just to go through the leader directions. Just like before, the positive transformational leader, have the team name, identity, sense of belonging, would you like to chant your team name, all of that, okay? They will advise their team that the ball does not have to reach, the ball and tees do not have to reach the center of the line, okay? That it's a team effort. If one side is having trouble, the other side can pick you up. We're all in this together. Together, everyone achieves more, okay? If, again, transformational leader, if the team, if a worker drops the ball, the team leader will quickly retrieve it, get it back to the start, be encouraging. The line of the team workers should never be broken. The team leader is going to make sure of that. Okay, again, really helping and assisting their team. and being supportive to any requests that the workers bring up. Okay? By the way, this is first round I'm talking right now. As for the not so positive team leader, okay, tell them what their name is. No choice. Okay? And I think that's something that was done before. Okay? Careful, I don't need any complaints to investigate. It is what it is because you said so. Now, the negative team leader is going to tell the team that both the tees and balls have to cross at the center. Okay? If one side is not doing it, get working. Do your job. Okay? So, if the ball gets dropped, make them go get it. Make them break the line. Make them reconfigure the line. Just like before, the team leader was not helping the transformational group with the other stuff. Be overbearing, as usual. Okay, nothing new there. Dismiss any requests or needs. And again, this stuff is all in the lesson plan. And put pressure on the team to do it faster. What you will find when you try this is that it is not as easy as it looks. Okay. As a matter of fact, when we demoed this at BLT Saturday, we originally used ping pong balls and we abandoned it because ping pong balls are next to impossible to do this with. Okay, that's the first round. Now in the second round, okay, one thing that we found that works out pretty well and has a positive and strong message is that there is no rule that says that the teams have to be in a straight line. Okay, and this is something that my 7th and 8th graders stumbled onto at Brookline. Okay, so the positive team leader in the second round is going to encourage their team to make sort of a U, like a circular U, so that each team member can see each other and they can encourage each other. Okay, so team members facing inward. All right, it shows flexibility and trust from the leader, as well as the willingness to allow team leader members to recognize each other and build upon each other's contributions. As for the negative team, no way. As a matter of fact, if the negative team looks and they're insisting to form a U, the team leader could make them form a U, but instead of the team members facing inward, the team members would have to face outward. All right? And if they face outward, basically what they're saying is they're hampering communication between team members. They're disrupting that whole idea of being positive contributing because they basically can't see their team members, and causing them to rely on the leader for their direction and support, not each other, which is basically...
I also, when we were going through this on the phone, we thought about it, and telling them, yeah, you can go, but you have to look outward, if that, isn't well received. You can take the whole approach of, no, you have to stay in the line. And when they ask why, you say, we've always done it that way. You have to figure out how to do it in a line. You have to do it in a line. And that kind of, later on during the reflection part, it just kind of reflects leaders that won't adapt, keep things the same way. So that's another option.
Yeah, we sort of found that whole inward-outward thing, and it sort of fits in with the message of the class. Mm-hmm. And then round 3 is basically the same, except that's where the interventions would come in. Okay? And we did include some interventions in the lesson plan, but you might find others that may work better with this than with the old game. All right? So what I want to do, the best way to experience this is to experience it. So we need to break people into 2 teams, roughly. So maybe if we take, it looks like we got about the same number of people at these 4 tables, and these 3. So what we could do is if we could have you guys get up and form a couple of lines. All right, and do we have a couple of volunteers to be team leaders? Okay.
No, but I think this side is
We may have to even it out a little bit, so we may need a couple of people to bounce over here. Okay. And basically, what you're doing, you're locking your arms, not like peace, more like. Let me need you to. And I want you to experience it as the delegates will. So for the first round, it really should be a straight or a semi-straight line. Don't do the curve yet.
No curve.
So.
Straight team dirt.
And And what we'll do, I guess Michaela will be the leader for this team, and Teresa will be the leader for that team. So I will give you 2 ping pong balls and 2 tees. Okay?
Are the leaders on the lines, or they're just?
The leaders are not on the lines. Okay? The leaders are not on the lines. And it may, I don't know whether you want to have 1 leader or 2 leader. We also toyed around with doing 3 groups. But with the number of people that would be in these classes and the size of the space, it really is okay? But now, once again, what you would do, okay, is when we tell you to start, okay, and again, the chain has to stay linked, all right? What you would do is you would pass it using your hands, okay? And again, like for example, if Alex wanted to pass it directly to Ryan, he could bypassing Craig. But now, if the ball falls off the tee, it goes back to Alex, okay? You guys can still keep passing it if the ball falls off the tee on this side. Now, for the purpose of just so you can see the experience on each side, we're going to need one of you guys to be positive and one of you guys to be negative.
I'll be positive.
Okay. So Teresa is going to be our positive transformational leader. And Michaela is going to be our negative transactional leader.
No, the balls have to cross. They can't like frog leap each other.
No.
Leapfrog each other.
No, and
Right?
the team scores point when the balls on the tees cross each
They
other.
can't leapfrog each other.
No,
That is not a point.
they have to cross.
Okay. That
They
would cross
Just
technically.
keep
They
crossing.
have to cross, and the ball has to be on the team when they do it. So you can't just like throw it. All right. You guys think you're ready for this?
I don't think anyone do this.
Now keep in mind that we may be more or maybe less coordinated than delegates on their last day. All right.
Alright.
Ready? Go.
Pull it out.
Slow and steady, slow and steady. You're doing great.
Come on, Kellen. Second person, really?
All right.
Slow and steady, you're doing great, you're doing great.
Harry, you guys are
You can do, oh wait, no, Phyllis, you can't touch it. You have to touch it.
There in a minute. Oh my gosh. So you could just stop complaining for 1 second.
Where's your positivity hat, Michaela? Did you forget it at home?
Was it your phone? Was it your
Mikhail, does the leader have to grab it?
Any slower. Any slower. Hey, stay Hey, he quit. That's not fair. Oh, no, we have a quitter.
Are you passing it to Ken? Are you passing? You might be there? Okay, wait a minute.
You guys are crossing arms.
No, because we have to stay.
Nice.
Very good.
Once it crosses,
Finally, it took long enough. Do you think we'll mess it up here at the end? Grab 2 hands, use them. Oh, come on in.
that's a point if they cross.
All right, do it again faster this time.
Although as a negative leader, you want to be really forcing them to do it in the center. You want to be getting on these guys. Because why are they crossing over here?
I'm just a body
Look how
here.
good they are.
So now that they're not in a point, go back to
It goes back in the outside when they try again.
You have to pass it back. You don't have to pass it back all the way back.
We should get a point for you.
I know. I don't think so. Like a lot of. Wait, this will be. I think so. I can't find my.
Keep it right here.
It's all the way down here.
Now the negative team leader would be all over you guys.
You guys are doing great.
Because look how great they're doing and what's this?
Great work, Dave.
But positive teamwork.
We got it.
Right there.
They cross.
Yes.
Once they cross, that's a point.
Okay, now this is now what? So can we just cross back and forth?
Yeah, hold on, it'll start at this end, does it have to go
Okay,
all the way to the end?
what happens now is the T's would go to either end.
So
and
I can just take